And away we go. Return from the 5. And out to the 35-yard line. So that's where the Northwestern offense will begin. Mandarin last year, those two guys have bolstered this Reigns defense on the back end. From the 45, the give is to Mathis. He gets nothing as we check in down on the field with Emily.
Yeah, to get this one started, I've got a very special guest down here on this
opportunity.
This is super familiar for you, right? FIU graduate. How do you feel being back here?
Oh, I'm so humbled and honored. I'm so thankful to be able to share this experience with so many of my friends, so many of my colleagues in the legislature, and to see so many people. I know it's a little loud, but to see so many people that I know this is a big deal. Not only this game, but to have the commissioner of the state of Florida over education be here supporting our great public schools here in Miami.
The loudness is good, right? That means good things are happening behind us.
It's wonderful, and I'm super just humbled and really excited. I mean, the energy is infectious. You see these students who are so excited for this program. The culture at Miami Northwestern and at Reigns, it just means something to these students, to these families, and there's just a history of people who've gone through those doors and have experienced this, and they want to pass that tradition on to their kids. So happy to be a small part of it tonight.
Thank you for your time, and enjoy the game, okay?
Thank you. God bless you.
All right, Emily. Tarvell Mathis with a long catch and run for Northwestern, and then Calvin Russell with the reception for a pickup of 9. So opening possession for the Bulls, and they've got it inside the Reigns 30.
Lawrence is just a sophomore, but he is amazing. He already had a free rusher in his face, just calmly throws the flat route. That was the big pickup. Just really handles himself well, just a sophomore.
Erwin James is the back. He gets a touch and shows some strength as he drives ahead for another Northwestern first down. 5 straight games with 49 or more points for this Northwestern offense. They're averaging 57 points per game in the playoffs. And this Reigns defense has been equally as good, giving up just 5.3 points per game. They haven't allowed an opponent to score more than 15 in any game this year. There's the catch by Russell. And a terrific open field tackle made by Charles Dawson, the strong safety.
You said it. Dawson comes up and makes a great play at the line of scrimmage on a great receiver. And Austin, you just mentioned the defense. They moved from a 3-man front to a 4-man front this year, and it's really paid dividends, as you mentioned the stats.
Dwayne Butler, the defensive coordinator, the goal was to try to get more of their athletes on the field. Tony Williams, who signed with Illinois, projects as a linebacker at the next level, but unselfishly, he moved to defensive end to get another fast athlete on the field. There's a pass down inside the 5. Nick St. Joseph Jr. with his first catch, and it's 1st and goal.
I thought Charles Dawson was going to be able to make a little bit better play on this ball. He's right behind him, isn't he? But Joseph able to pull it in inside the 5-yard line.
They spotted at the 4. James going nowhere. Flying off the edge, Troy Butler and Eddie Hinton.
He felt like he didn't play his best last year. Starts off great here, crashing down from the opposite side and chasing down the running back.
Leads the team in tackles for loss and sacks. Rack up another one there. Pushes the ball back outside the 5 for 2nd and goal. Northwestern looking to cash in on their opening drive of the game. Neiman with time. And it is incomplete. Trying to go to Nicholas Lanier. Lanier unable to squeeze it, and he is slow to get up.
Collarbone grabbing up near his shoulder. These Northwestern receivers are used to making those kind of grabs on a regular basis.
Lanier, five-star prospect, consensus top 5 wide receiver in next year's class. He is a tremendous talent. And so 3rd and goal now for Northwestern, and a huge play early in this game.
Calvin Russell is 6'5", number 5 out there.
Lawrence has pressure, and he's brought down. Cameron Washington, the defensive tackle, with a quarterback sack, and the Reigns defense comes up with a massive stop.
Yes, they did. We were talking about not settling for field goals for the Reigns side. What a great start for Reigns defense to be able to stop the Bulls here and force the field goal.
Alex Lima is the Northwestern kicker, transfer from Miami Killian. Lined up right in the middle of the field. This is from 24 yards. Shift there by Northwestern. Reigns does not jump. Lima drives it up and through. So an opening drive that took nearly half of the first quarter results in 3 points for the Bulls.
Yeah, I think that's a win for Reigns on the first series to hold them to 3 instead of 7 as they were moving the ball in big chunks all the way down the field. Now we'll see if Reigns' offense can get started well and take some time off the clock, let their defense rest, and maybe move down and get some points themselves.
Jaquatin Victor's squad takes the early lead in this 3A title game. 2013 Northwestern grad. He was a defensive back at Clark Atlanta University. Previously served as the JV coach and was named the interim coach the first week of August. No easy task to take over this Northwestern program. Not devoid of talent, but to fill the void left by Teddy Bridgewater is a very difficult thing to do.
Well, sure, and under the circumstances when it's just, catches everybody by surprise, and now you got to step in and take on a completely different role, and many hats to these, high school head football coaches wear so many hats that to do that in, right at the beginning of the season, very tough, and congratulations to bring them all the way back here again.
Ethan Sherman and Kelvin Brown are back deep for Reigns. Lima shows off a pretty big leg. Sherman retreats. That's a live football inside the 5. He picks it up and is dropped inside the 5. Terrific special teams coverage by Northwestern.
I'm not sure if I've ever seen a kickoff check up and back up like this ball does. I do not blame him for letting it hit the ground, because that just doesn't happen to a football on a kickoff. Punts do it every once in a while, but Sherman let the ball hit and it sat down. That just doesn't happen. Now they're at the 5-yard line.
So here comes Timothy Cole, senior quarterback. 39 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's been great in the last 3 games. 8 touchdowns, no picks. Zion Butler, Middle Tennessee State signee, first Reigns receiver in more than 20 years with 1,000 yards. He is the primary target. And up front, Aronde Mitchell, senior left tackle, getting some college interest. And center Jordan Scott is a second-year starter.
Receiver went offside, so they'll be at the 2.5-yard line.
You briefly heard the voice of Scooter Morrison. He is the referee for tonight's game. One of the best in the state. Between baseball and football, he is officiating his 30th state final game tonight. So back it up to the 2.5. Cole gives to Tadarius Washington, able to get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Brought down by one, Tadarius Hughes. Will be second down and 9 from the 6-yard line.
Special teams mistake backs up this Reigns offense for their first possession of the game. Cole, receiver was hit just as the ball arrived. It falls incomplete. That was Amari Okendo that hit Kyron Jackson. As you look at this Northwestern defense, Jordan Campbell signed with Miami. He's the leader of the defensive line. Desmond Johnson headed to play at Pitt. And in the secondary, Calvin Russell will see a lot of time both ways. He's headed to Syracuse, as is Tadarius Hughes. Talented guys in the secondary. You'll see some of the receivers rotate in to the defensive backfield as well.
Reigns has probably not had a single team play that play like that and be that aggressive on the bubble screen.
Cole in the end zone on the run. He throws on target. Jackson makes the catch beyond the 20 for a first down.
Huge, absolutely huge for this offense to get that first down. Great movement by Cole and an accurate throw on the run.
Big conversion. Reigns was potentially looking at having to punt with their punter in the end zone. Washington right up the middle, and he shows a good burst. Cut down by Hughes after another first down run.
Right back up on the ball. They want to go fast.
And Northwestern will burn a timeout.
Timeout on the field, Miami Northwestern. That is their first timeout of the half.
That was a great job by Cole just to handle that snap up above his head and get it to the running back on time enough to hit the hole. Great job up front by the offensive line to get that hole made that quick as well.
We talked about the result of last year's game. 41-0 was the score. Reigns was really never in it, and they have spent the entire season thinking about that game. It served as big motivation. They look like a much more comfortable team as we check in with Emily.
You're completely right, Austin. They look so much more complete. And I asked Coach, what is the vibe in the locker room as you enter this one? And he said they're 100% locked in and focused. Coach said he got a few text messages last Saturday after their semifinal win from his players saying, Coach, we're ready, we're locked in. He also told us these guys are veterans. We have 29 seniors, and they're on a mission. They know last year isn't a true reflection of who they are as young men and who we are as a program, Austin.
This was a team that is highly motivated and very confident based on how they've played this season. Washington wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Yeah, they got good movement off the edge. They brought Okendo, number 11, from the secondary as well on a blitz. But really, you know, you're talking about how ready they are. They're 29 starts. They started at their 2.5-yard line. Just getting out of those first two mistakes, the kickoff and then the offsides penalty, to be at the 32 or 33-yard line right now is huge for this offense.
Cole scans and finds Zion Butler. Brought down just shy of the 40. We'll set up 3rd down and 4.
Cole escaped to make that 3rd down conversion, but really is what I want to see is what he just did right there. Just be able to hit his feet, be solid, step up, and make a throw on time so he's not getting hit and getting chased and knocked down tonight. Just get things off on time if possible.
Cole out of the backfield trying to get Washington, who lost his feet. There was some contact between Washington and Kevon Gibson.
Yeah, Gibson held him. It should have been a penalty, absolutely. It completely impaired his ability to move forward, and that's why the ball was out in front of him. He grabs him right there. You can see him grab him and basically tackle him before it happened. That should have been a penalty, but it was at the line of scrimmage, so there's a lot of colors in there. The refs can't always see that. Bad luck for Reigns on that.
So Eddie Hinton comes on to punt. Marcus Dumont is the Northwestern punt returner. Hinton had a big run for a fake punt in last year's title game that ultimately was negated by offsetting personal fouls. It was one of the plays that gave Reigns some momentum early in the game.
False start on the kicking team. Still fourth down.
Back it up to the 34. Good kick by Hinton. Doesn't get much of a bounce as Dumont lets it roll back toward the Northwestern end zone. Down at the 31-yard line. That's where the Bulls will begin. Second possession on offense after they drove it inside the 5 but had to settle for an Alex Lima field goal.
Reigns tonight believes that they need to create some turnovers, and that's probably the case, and probably any team that plays against Northwestern needs to do, but they're going to have to create fumbles or interceptions and get themselves a chance to have shorter fields, obviously more than 97.5 yards away, but much better field position. I think the game we had last night was a really bad field position for Lakeland, and they weren't able to drive the entire field. I think Reigns got to get some better field position.
Lawrence, well protected, checks it down to Russell. Short gain. Russell split time between quarterback and wide receiver as a freshman and sophomore. He's a tremendous athlete, also an outstanding basketball player. Had offers from a bunch of high major programs to go play basketball. His mom is in the University of Miami Hall of Fame. She's part of the women's basketball program for the Canes. Lawrence again with a clean pocket. All kinds of space along the far sideline. And the catch and run for Nicholas Lanier. Good to see him back out there after he had to leave the field and got hurt on the last goal to go sequence.
Yeah, that's just a lot of respect. They start off with kind of a cover 2 look, and really it's just all four, the 2 corners and 2 safeties all playing back, all have a deep responsibility, and then that's what opens up those underneath throws, and a good job of the throw and the catch.
Reigns gave up a couple of big passing plays over the top. That was something Donovan Maslin talked to us about this week. Said they were going to mix up their coverage. They did not want to get beat deep for those long touchdowns. The toss to the far side. Good burst from Mathis. 5'8" senior. You see James Mathis and a little bit of Ryan Mathis in the run game.
The yards per play, very impressive so far for the Bulls, getting big gains on a regular basis.
Nearly 7 yards per play so far for Northwestern. Lawrence, sidearm delivery to Lanier. Weaving his way down inside the 25.
This is how I like plays to be called, or the offenses to be run. they showed the exact same action pre-snap, and then they showed the fake toss left that they just ran for 8 yards. They come back to the opposite side with a quick screen and sets it up perfectly for the timing to get the big guys out in front to kick out and have the receiver Lanier come inside and make another big play.
Lawrence 8 of 9 so far for 95 yards. Play clock down to 2. They just get it off. Lawrence looking in the end zone. A little bit too far out in front of Joseph.
Pass falls incomplete.
Well, it's not going to take them long to find that connection because they're going to leave a safety over the top of that slot receiver with a two-way go all night. They're going to take advantage of that. It leaves the defender basically in no man's land, and even the greatest defender can't handle a good receiver coming at him full speed and with a chance to go to the middle or to the corner. They'll come right back to it and try that again because it was wide open, just wasn't able to hook it up.
Jacoby Marion in coverage for Reigns. They run it with James. Breaks through the initial line down inside the 15 where it looks like he'll have enough for a Bulls first down.
So the chess match is what I was just talking about, having that slot receiver basically one-on-one with the safety. So then the linebackers on both sides this time, most teams just do one or the other. This time both linebackers, outside linebackers, went underneath the slot the slot receiver, and that allowed only 5 guys in the box, and then you go inside with the run and you have a big run. So that is the chess match, and who does it better, who guesses better, who's got the right play call on when you choose what defense you're doing.
Some confusion getting a line there for Northwestern. And Coach Victorin burns the second timeout of the first half.
That is their second charge timeout of the half.
Why do it?
70 seconds remaining in this opening quarter. The expectation for Northwestern was that Leon Strotter would be their quarterback. He was a junior on last year's title team, had a massive championship game, threw for 360 yards and 4 touchdowns. He transferred to American Heritage. So Lawrence, who at least going into the season was expected to be the backup quarterback, was thrust into a starting role, and it's an embarrassment of riches for Northwestern. Obviously, you have a guy like Lawrence as the backup, and he's a guy that already has NIL deals with a trading card company, Invisalign, Subway. Manny Navarro, terrific writer here in the Miami area, did a piece for The Athletic on Lawrence, and he's a guy who has a great upbringing. Father spent 4 years in the Navy, mom is a corrections officer. They don't allow him to have much downtime. And early movement will cost Northwestern 5.
Well, whatever they've done with him, they've set him up for success. He is well prepared for this.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Lawrence was kind of chunky as a young kid, so people gave him the nickname The Big Show, which, even though he's not chunky anymore, I think still fits just fine.
Yeah, he's got plenty of big-time opportunities coming his way. One right here in front of him for the next couple of hours.
So 1st and 15. Ryan Mathis is the back. He flexes out. Crossing route, wide open. Lanier ushered out of bounds just shy of the 5.
Well, good to see him back in. I think the only incompletion so far for Lawrence, it was the ball in the back of the end zone that went off Lanier's hands. And it looked like he might have got a collarbone or shoulder, but good to see him back in and makes a big play there on first down.
Second down and 3 from the 7.
From 1st and 15 to 2nd and 3. Third catch for Lanier. Him and Russell with 3 catches each in this first quarter. This is James, right into the teeth of that Reigns defensive front. Eventually pushed out wide, but never did go down. How about the leg strength there by the 5'9", 200-pound senior.
Very close, right? It's hard to see where he went out of bounds from our vantage point. Very, very close.
We got 3 or 4 Reigns defenders leaning on him, and still was able to keep his feet.
Got the first down.
The 1st and goal. This is right where Northwestern was on their first drive of the game. Had goal to go inside the 5, and Reigns was able to limit them to a field goal. Bring in Elijah Harris as a tight end. Lawrence has his throw batted down.
Great quick pressure. I thought Calvin Russell was going to get that ball on a little slot fade, and he was going to be pretty much wide open, easy to get to. So the defense getting to him quick. You know, that's questionable.
Very close.
That could have been a return.
It was Jacoby Marion that applied the pressure. Ball has to be in the hand of the quarterback, with the quarterback's hand has to be moving forward with control in order for it to be an incomplete pass. Second down and goal. 5 wide receivers. Lawrence incomplete in the direction of Lanier, but everybody was covered, and it's 3rd down.
Well, Sharif Jackson, the senior cornerback for Reigns, just ran Lanier off the field. Almost looked like Lanier ran himself off the field. Need some more quick pressure.
Reigns was able to hold once with Northwestern inside the 5. Can they do it again?
It will be
Northwestern very close here. There's only 3 seconds on the play clock. I don't know that Lawrence sees it. Time expires, but Coach Vickram was able to get the timeout.
Took their 3rd.
So Northwestern has used all 3 of its timeouts here in the opening quarter.
McDonald's is proud to sponsor the Florida High School Athletic Association.
The offensive coordinator Craig Wilkerson there wearing the Teddy Bridgewater number 5 Northwestern jerseys. Bridgewater coached for 1 year, led Northwestern to a state title. He was given a 1-year suspension by the FHSAA for providing impermissible benefits. Talked about how he was trying to get some of his kids home after practice, paid for Ubers to make sure they were safe. Unfortunately not within the rules, so he was suspended by the FHSAA. Bridgewater now the backup quarterback with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Expectation is that he would be here tonight. Tampa played last night on Thursday Night Football. Lost to the Atlanta Falcons. And Bridgewater was at the state semifinal a week ago. He's not here, certainly watching and cheering on his Northwestern boys, hoping that they can punch it in here. Mathis flexes out as a wide receiver.
Timeout on the field.
And Reigns calls a timeout.
That's their first timeout of the first half.
Well, you talked about the chess match that was going on between the Northwestern offense and the Reigns defense, and both staffs understand how significant this play is right here.
I like the fact that Reigns took that timeout after Northwestern did, because now Northwestern can't reset. So they had to show you what they wanted to run. You know, a lot of times you can come out and almost force the defense to take the timeout, but when they run out of timeouts now, they have to come out, set up in what they want. So they got to look at it. Now you're going to say, okay, they're going to go back and change the play a second second time? Are they going to keep it the same? But now you've been able to talk to your team twice and at least think of what they're going to come out, what formation they're going to come out in, and be ready for it. Theoretically, Austin.
Donovan Maslin told us he thought they had an advantage with their defensive line, thought that those guys would be able to create pressure, and they've done it in key situations so far.
Really tight splits that Northwestern runs between their offensive linemen.
Lawrence pulls it down, and it's incomplete. Off the hands of Dumont in the back of the end zone. And now, does Northwestern go for it, or are they going to kick another field goal?
I think you kicked the field goal, but you know, last night we saw St. Thomas Aquinas kick 5 field goals, and after 2, you still only have 6. 6 points, so 1 score could beat you. So it looks like they're going to come back in here and bring Lawrence back in and go for it 4th and 4.
Lots of high leverage plays down here inside the 5-yard line. 4th down and goal. Lawrence has pressure right away. His arm is hit and it's incomplete. Tony Williams off the edge, applied the pressure. Bothered that throw by Lawrence, and the Reigns defense with its back to the end zone comes through again.
Wow, what a stand. Another one. No points this time, but their offense has to start 96 yards away from the end zone. Boy, he kept working for it to get to the quarterback. Williams, man, great job slipping the block, getting back there.
Northwestern, 7 plays inside the 5-yard line, and they've got 3 points. So now Reigns from the 4. Cole with the give. And not much going on what will be the final play of this opening quarter. Northwestern with 128 total yards, but only 3 points to show for it.
Third down conversion helped Reigns get out from their own end zone line. They need another couple big plays to do the same.
Cole gives to Tyshawn Haynes, able to squeeze through and take it out just shy of the 10.
You know, on the first down play that ended the quarter, they put 3 receivers out to the left-hand side, and the Bulls only answered with 1 defender. But the early quick screen that got blown up, it was a totally different play. But now it's down to the bottom of the screen. They were in trips bunch. Now they've spread out, but they've got a couple defenders out there. But on that first down, they only had 1 defender against 3 receivers. But they decided to run it, which would make it much more difficult to run because they had a couple extra defenders in there.
3rd down and 6. Cole looking to run for it himself, and he will not get there. Roderick McFadden, the defensive tackle, got a hold of his legs, and Kevon Gibson cleaned it up for the Bulls defense.
Yep, just 1 yard on the run. I like it. I like 4 strong, but they're going Timothy Cole's really going to have to see how they react to it. They're very aggressive to the swing route, that the bubble that they hit early, and the swing route there as they went in motion. He's going to have to react to how that happens, and then who pops open after that and get rid of it quick.
Second punt for Eddie Hinton. His first went 35 yards. Chance for a return for Marcus Dumont. Stumbles, gets hit, and the ball comes out. Recovered by Reigns. A huge hit on special teams. Jonathan Downer-Barrett recovers it for the Vikings.
Maybe he got it started for the Vikings because that is what they needed. We talked about turnovers, fumbles, and interceptions. Well, this is a fumble in the special teams game. It was a good return started. He tripped him just a little bit on his own feet, and then he took the big hit as the ball's away from his body. That's what caused the fumble.
It was Travis Williams that forced the fumble. Downer Barrett with the recovery. He was able to beat James Briggs to the football. We said special teams was going to be huge tonight. Looked like Northwestern was going to be in prime position. Instead, the turnover, and there is a Northwestern player down in the middle of the field. That's Tadarius Hughes, the outstanding defensive back who is signed to Syracuse. You see the big orange S on the back of his helmet. Not able to put any pressure on his right leg. So he gets carried to the sideline. Hope he's able to return. So the Reigns offense starts from the 34. Cole. Pocket starts to break down. He takes off. So good on the run. And Cole scoots out of bounds right at the 40.
Yeah, I really like him. He's only 5'10", but really looks like just a well-trained quarterback that really efficient in his throwing motion and is super accurate. But then you saw how quick he was to get to the sideline and pick up 6.
Committed to Florida A&M. He's got the FAMU sticker on his helmet with the Rattler. He's getting some other FBS interest. We'll see how it shakes out between now and signing day for Timothy Cole. Washington on the run. And it looks like he is just shy of the first down.
Right back up on the ball. A lot of teams play a school like Northwestern and you try to slow it down, try to not speed it up. These guys are right back up on the ball for 3rd and short.
Washington again. Didn't get much, but he didn't need much. Across the 45 and a first down for Reigns.
When you speed it up, you usually force the defense to play a very generic defense. They're not able to set up and specialize against what you want to do. So you get up there, especially on that short yardage, jump up there, get going before the defense can get set.
A lot of motion there by Ethan Sherman. Cole with immediate pressure, able to break out of there. Big run for Cole, and he slides down in Northwestern territory after a gain of 14.
Very nice. And Austin, there was so much motion. I believe the right tackle actually moved, and the receiver recognized it, and Cole recognized it. They were going to have 2 guys in motion, so they reset, and then he redid the motion a second time so that they wouldn't get a penalty. I think that was very mature. Now, I may be wrong about it, but I think that's what happened.
Well, the game last year, as I think back to it, looked like it was moving really fast for Cole. He appears really poised so far in the opening quarter.
Perfect description. He looks super calm, super confident, and right now he's got his team on the move.
First time in Northwestern territory. Play clock is down under 5, and Reigns has got to burn a timeout.
Timeout on the field. Jacksonville Reigns. That's their 2nd charge timeout of the half.
Second season at Reigns for Cole. He transferred in from Reball. Donovan Maslin said once he arrived last year, the coaching staff and the players on this team knew that he was the missing piece. He was what they needed to be able to get to the next level. Threw 43 touchdowns last year, got Reigns to the title game. Another fantastic statistical year, 39 TDs, 3 interceptions. over 100 career passing touchdowns, and his experience is certainly on display in this first half.
Yeah, well, we were talking about him wanting that redemption from last year's game, and he's come out here and looks sharp, looks really, really good, and dedicated to his task to get his team back here and to show up well.
They made a concerted effort not to run him as much during the regular season so that he could be fresh for the playoffs, especially the games that matter. State semifinal against Booker, and this game here tonight. 3 carries, 21 yards. He's the leading rusher in the game so far.
He looked fresh a moment ago.
Ball just outside the 40. Reigns with a forced fumble on a punt, and now looking to cash in with their offense. And Cole on the design run, not finding any space. DeMarcus King, transfer from West Boca, among the defenders there for Northwestern.
Now, just because he can scramble for first downs doesn't mean you design first down and 10 for him to run.
Yeah, so far, he's been at his best when the play has broken down. Design passes where he hasn't been able to get the ball to his receivers. Cole again under pressure, and he throws an interception. Lanier with the pick for Northwestern. The Bulls defense takes it right back.
Boy, I think the coaches and Cole are going to hate the fact that they did not take advantage of the entire middle of the football field. Kelvin Brown stopped on him. He wasn't expecting it. He thought Brown was going to continue to come as Lanier did, and that's why he got the interception. There's just miscommunication there, but the entire middle of the field was open because they brought the house on the blitz. It was so much space, and to have a turnover instead of a minimum of an incompletion, very unfortunate.
So Tadarius Hughes gets hurt on that punt return. He has to leave. Lanier comes into the secondary and makes a huge play. So Lawrence and the Bulls back to work from the 32. And nothing on that run for Tarvell Mathis.
Brought down by 31, Christian Belton. Gain of yards, 2nd and 9.
Northwestern's success so far on offense has come through the air. 107 yards passing for Lawrence, 22 rushing.
We were talking about the poise of Cole. Lawrence is the same, but he's only a sophomore. Just cool, calm, and collected, running the show. The big show, right?
That's what they call
him. Running the show.
Had to hustle to get that play off. They just did. Mathis out of the backfield, and a terrific tackle made by Travis Williams. That could have been a much bigger gain.
Yeah, he could have got a lot more yards, made one move, and maybe gotten to the end zone. Watch it out here. If he's able to keep his feet in right there, he can probably make one single move, and the open field tackle will be tough to bring down.
That's the 3rd catch for Mathis. He's been a big part of the passing game in this first half. Coming up on the midway point of the first quarter. Just a field goal so far between these two dynamic offenses. Lawrence keeps. Shows he can run it as well. Eases out of bounds inside the 40.
Kind of floats as he runs. Not a big runner, hasn't needed to run. He's been able to stay in the pocket and get great protection by his offensive line. This one is designed read option. He says, hey, the guy crashed on the running back. I'll keep it. But he just kind of floats along out there and just runs effortlessly.
Timeout on the field.
19 on the
Officials
run for
timeout
Neiman
for
Lawrence.
mandatory water break. This is the 2nd quarter water break.
Teams will get a blow.
Quarterback is looking one side and he doesn't like it. He has somebody coming right in front of his face, and this one, everything opened up across the middle. Would have been nice to have somebody underneath. He only had the two to choose from, and his receiver stopped.
Lawrence on target down the middle. Joseph with the catch. Senior wide receiver signed to Florida Atlantic. Gain of 12, and Northwestern moves the sticks.
There's that clean pocket, but throws it on time. Gets the slant off before the defender can knock it out. Giving him a zero look. Nobody back deep, nobody to help in unless if the receiver is able to shake the first defender all across the board.
Lawrence takes the short throw. A little off target there to Joseph, who lunges forward.
As I was talking about that zero coverage, they did run the safety Jacoby Marion back right at the snap.
Mathis out of the backfield once again, makes his fourth catch. Darts forward to about the 20, where it'll be 3rd down and 3.
This is where Raines has had their specialty, short yardage defense.
Northwestern 0 for 2 so far on 3rd down. Just outside the red zone here. Call it 3rd and 4. Lawrence, initial read wasn't there. It's intercepted, but a flag comes in. Raines with the pick. The coaching staff is trying to tell the officials that the ball was tipped. I do believe it was deflected, so the officials will talk about it.
He either double clutched it, or it got tipped at the line of scrimmage. I don't think it's pass interference either way, actually. At least the way I saw it, I didn't think that it was interference. Let's take a look together. Makes the fake. He double clutched. That's what happened. He double clutched and got hit. But I'd have to see that. The contact behind that, I did not think that was pass interference.
The result of the play is an interception. Before the interception, we have pass interference on the defense. Half the distance of the goal, 1st down, Miami Northwestern.
Well, that'll negate the interception. Here's the whole play.
Nope, that's pass interference. Yeah, you know what? I actually thought he double clutched it, but I didn't think he hit him early, but clearly hit him early.
Calvin Russell was the target, so Jacoby Marion's pick taken away by penalty, and it will be 1st down just outside the 10.
But they are getting hits on Lawrence. That's the good thing about the defense. They are getting to him quickly.
Mathis straight up the middle, breaking tackles, lost the football just before the goal line. It's loose in the end zone.
This should be a turnover, should be a touchback.
Raines thinks they have it, and they do. A touchback, the Raines defense with a big play with Northwestern right at the goal line.
Well, it feels like they're playing on the brink, and they are, but they're surviving. The punt return fumble, and now this fumble right before the goal line.
In the end zone. Therefore,
Sharif Jackson was the player that applied the hit to Mathis. And then a mad scramble for that football.
Touchdown saving? Could it be game saving? A little too early to say that, Austin. You think?
Well, so ball security, an issue for Northwestern. They fumbled the punt after a hit, and that shot by Sharif Jackson able to jar the ball loose just as Mathis was about to cross the goal line. And Raines will take over at the 20 with 4:06 to go in this first half.
When they got the fumble recovery off of the punt return, that was their best starting field position. This is their 2nd best starting field position.
Tyshawn Haynes is the back, and he is swarmed immediately.
Yeah, they're going to have to show some sort of deception in the run game if they're going to get anything against this group. Those guys up front just too talented, too big, too strong.
Desmond Johnson and Jordan Campbell, future ACC linebackers. With 66 yards of offense so far for Raines. Cole has it complete to Butler. He is driven down at the 28-yard line.
I think they hit one more curl type route, and then they've got to pop one over the top of the curl. Get one of the receivers to stop on the curl. The other guy's got to go behind that and try for the big one.
Butler just shy of the first, so 3rd down and 1. Big hole through the middle there for Haynes, and they pick up the 1st down easily.
Plenty of time. No rush to get here. They got 3 minutes to move the ball down the field.
It's a big opportunity for Raines. They will receive the kickoff to start the 3rd quarter. Potentially the opportunity to score here late in the 2nd and then get it to start the 3rd. Important for the Vikings to manage this clock as they try to work it down the field against Northwestern. Cole surrounded, launches it into the Raines bench. Raines coaches wanted a flag for roughing the passer. Didn't look like a late hit, though.
I think the other side should want intentional grounding.
He threw it right over Zion Butler's head. Just so happened to be way over Butler's head, as Cole has some issues with his wristband.
Yeah, when the ball became catchable by anybody, it was in the 12th row.
Coach Victrum thinking about getting a stop and getting the ball back for his offense. Cole gives. Big hole. There goes Haynes. He's to midfield.
And he almost broke that for the distance. Seam. Oh.
Another gaping hole through the middle. Haynes with another burst down inside the Northwestern 40. Back-to-back 1st down runs for 200-pound senior Tyshawn Haynes. He switches spots with Tadarius Washington as Cole throws to the outside. Kelvin Brown with a catch and run. Chunk plays right now for Raines. 3 consecutive 1st downs.
2 plays in a row, Austin. They let Zion Butler, I don't know if it was Zion both times, but they let the slot receiver run up the seam completely uncovered. They ran the ball successfully and threw the ball outside, but they're letting him run the seam.
Here's Tadarius Washington churning forward. He's down inside the 20. Now Raines is trying to go really fast here. I guess take advantage of a gassed Northwestern defense. But you don't want to give the ball back to the Bulls. And Raines is fired up as they come to the sideline.
You know, I don't know the rule in high school. They don't have any timeouts to take away from Northwestern. Like if they just, you know, they lay on the field and act like they're injured on every play to slow them down. If that were the case, they just wound the clock. That was quick. They just wound the clock on without even telling the offense that came to the sideline.
Well, there's a player down for Northwestern, but he got up quickly.
Yeah, the ref wound the clock, didn't even tell anybody.
Might think this is going to end up being to Reigns' advantage. You want,
because you want the clock to come down.
You don't want Northwestern to get the ball back in this second quarter if you're Reigns.
I agree with you, obviously, but you still want to get down there and score.
A moment to catch their breath. Cole. The rush gets there that time. Roderick McFadden was the first player there for Northwestern, and DeMarcus King finished him off.
Quarterback sack for the Bulls, 16, DeMarcus King.
So that break benefits Northwestern. Those defensive linemen able to catch their breath and get to the quarterback.
Reigns. That's their third and final timeout of the first half.
Call it fortuitous then, because that's exactly what they needed. Just needed to settle themselves down, and then all of a sudden got that heavy quick pressure, making it third and long. Yeah, and Austin, you're absolutely right about the clock, but I'm also saying you've got to make sure you don't put yourself in a position that you don't get the plays that you want called because you're trying to be too meticulous. I mean, the NFL players that have been doing it for a long time, the coaches make mistakes, the players make mistakes. And when you got high school kids and you haven't practiced a 2-minute drill and exactly what you're trying to do and get plays, run quickly, it can really become a mess.
So Reigns is right on the edge of field goal range for Dan Dong here. Neither team has a timeout. You can't stop the clock. If you're Reigns, are you putting this ball in the air and risking a potential incompletion to stop the clock? If you run it, the worst you're going to do is a field goal attempt at the end of the half.
I'm throwing it for sure. That's what this team has confidence in.
Cole throwing to the outside, incomplete, looking for Kelvin Brown, and a flag comes in. It's going to be holding against Northwestern.
Defensive holding is an automatic first down.
Scooter Morrison indicating that it is defensive holding. And the penalty yardage will be enough to give Reigns a first down inside the 15.
Holding on the defense.
After the penalty yardage, that's another Reigns fighting.
So first down from just outside the 10.
Giving a lot of respect over there on the defense. Calvin Russell, the safety, way back in the end zone when the ball's at the 12. Surprised he's giving him that much space.
Well, moving to Darius Washington around. The play clock is under 5. Reigns has got to get set. They just do get it away. Cole scrambling around, and he throws an interception. Kavon Gibson with the pick for Northwestern. Had an interception return for a touchdown last week in the state semifinal, and he's got another pick here in the title game.
Second time that Cole thought his receiver was going to be moving, at this time towards him, with him to the right. Receiver was standing still. Defender steps in front. Gibson having a big semifinal and a big final.
Second takeaway for this Reigns defense. Lanier and Gibson with interceptions. Northwestern turned Bishop Moore over 5 times last week in the semifinals.
Now Austin with no timeouts. Is that 40 seconds going to catch him?
And the flag comes down.
Snap infraction on the offense. 5 yards.
Center Amir Days with a snap infraction. So the ball at the 6 with 40 seconds to go, and Northwestern out of timeouts. Lawrence in his own end zone as he scrambles forward. Brought down by Cameron Washington, but a flag down.
Well, he wasn't brought down by Cameron Washington. He was brought down by his face mask by Cameron Washington.
Brought down by 13, Cameron Washington. Penalty.
That'll get them out from at least the goal line and the threat of a safety or a turnover in their own end zone.
Face mask. 5-yard penalty on the defense. Replay the down.
What, did you say 5 yards?
He did.
This is a personal foul penalty of face masking that I've ever seen.
I think he grabs the inside of the shoulder pad and
Austin,
just brushes.
You are so gracious.
Just brushes the face
he had
mask.
His face mask for 5 minutes. He literally had it till he had him down on the ground. You are just the most gracious guy in the world.
Well, first down with the ball at the 11, just 1st and 10, down to 33 seconds to go. And this time Lawrence will not get away. Williams had the pressure, and Raines with a sack back inside the 5, and that should take us to halftime.
Yeah, see how that could have potentially been a safety without the penalty.
Well, the clock has stopped. Well, at least it stopped momentarily, but I don't know why it would have stopped. It's running again now. Down to 15 seconds and no urgency from Northwestern. So these two offenses, each averaging more than 40 points per game. And through 2 quarters, we've got no touch. Picked off. The ball got down inside the 5, but then bounced back. Raines scrambled to cover it, and they had terrible starting field position. Sherman backing up. This one takes him into the end zone, and the ball will come out to the 20.
And it's skipped into the end zone for a touchback.
So Timothy Cole leads the Raines offense back onto the field. Cole 4 of 9 with 46 yards and a couple of picks in that first half. Ran for 17 yards. Raines didn't have much success running the football until that last drive when Haynes and Washington got going. They were playing fast. They were in rhythm. 79 total yards on the ground for Donovan Maslin's Vikings.
Well, I really liked it when he threw it on time and in rhythm. But then a couple times, he just barely had to move a little bit, and that's when those interceptions came. The receivers didn't adjust to what he thought they were going to do.
Well, hard count there from Timothy Cole. Got Roderick McFadden to jump into the neutral zone.
Heard of snap, the encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So instead of 1st and 10, 1st and 5 before the first snap of the 3rd quarter. Tadarius Washington off the right side, got a couple. Washington's 7th carry of the night. He's up to 29 yards. Senior who scored a touchdown in every postseason game so far for Raines.
Watchers had a good senior year. Also want to see Tashawn Haynes get back in there. He was going crazy. He was beating himself up, hitting himself in the head as he was getting those big runs at before half.
Cole dropped the ball. It was recovered by Northwestern. Number 97 for the Bulls got the recovery. We don't have a 97 on our roster, so unfortunately I can't tell you who that is.
The play is a fumble. Miami Northwestern player was down. First down.
Raines thought that the defensive lineman might not have been down, and he lost the ball again. A huge play for the Northwestern defense, their 3rd takeaway.
Cole wanted to run that ball, trying to pull it back from the running back. He was definitely down. Good call, referees. that happens on that zone read. That happens. Sometimes the running backs want to take it. Sometimes they don't take it, and the quarterback wants to give it away, and the running backs don't want to take it, and it happens the opposite way there as well. But gets caught on their hip or on their side, and the ball goes on the ground. That is the risk of that run style.
Well, Northwestern had a long touchdown early in the third quarter of last year's championship game that really broke Reigns' back. Tonight they get a turnover. And now the offense back to work. Lawrence out in the flat. Catch and run there from Kenyon Tompkins.
Pass is complete to 5. Calvin rushing at 6. Kenyon.
Austin, I thought that they were going to really exploit this bunch set. It's a tight bunch set, but I think that they can do a lot of fakes and a lot of misdirection with their 3 receivers. This was just a bubble screen, but now you fake the bubble screen and have your great receiver Calvin Russell go down the field after he fakes a block, and you're going to have a wide open touchdown.
Lanier one-on-one at the bottom of your screen, number 2 in yellow. On second down, they run it with Irwin James, and he's got the first down. So inside the 10, it will be 1st and goal for Northwestern. Their 3rd goal-to-go possession of the game.
You can only have your backs against the wall so many times before a team as talented as Northwestern punches it in. Unfortunate on that miscommunication or on the handoff for Reigns to open the second half with that and give this easy field position.
Ryan Mathis is the back on 1st and goal. Lawrence looking across the middle for Lanier. It was off his arm. He wasn't looking for the ball.
Intended receiver number 2, Nicholas Lanier.
Lawrence wanted to get rid of the ball quick, but you're right. He was looking for what was coming in front of him. And you see Flournoy was out there in front of him. He wanted to see if he was going to get hit as he caught it.
Northwestern substituting late. You got Mathis and Irwin James back there with Lawrence. It's a designed run, and Lawrence is going nowhere. Wrapped up by Cameron Washington. Reigns is saying they've got the football. Officials blowing the play dead.
Definitely dead. Calvin Russell there playing in the Wildcat shotgun look, but too much right behind the line of scrimmage, between the tackles. Good job inside there. Cameron Washington making the tackle.
So now 3rd and goal.
The Reigns defense stood tall with the ball at the 4-yard line. You got a little bit more room here.
Lawrence back in the shotgun. Looking left, has to come back to the right, forced to scramble, and he's twisted down. Oh, the Reigns defense once again rising to meet the moment. It was Troy Butler that got Lawrence to the ground.
No, he spun out of it. I thought he was actually going to get the ball off somewhere. As he came right there, I thought he was going to stay up and get a chance to get rid of it. Great job again by the Reigns defense.
Northwestern again stalls inside the 10. Lima on for his 2nd field goal attempt of the night. And he's 2 for 2. So Northwestern adds 3 to make it a 6-0 game. And they get 3 points off the Reigns turnover.
I'm not sure if you and I have ever had 2 back-to-back games where we've had just 6 points on the board with field goals this late into the game.
St. Thomas Aquinas had 5 field goals last night from Johnny DeSalvatore. That tied a state record for most field goals in a game. And Alex Lima's got 2 here in the early moments of the third quarter.
Yeah, Aquinas didn't get their third till right before halftime to make it 9-0 at half, but very similar, just great defense. Here, Reigns has to avoid their own turnovers. That's 3 turnovers for them. And usually when you talk about, winning a state championship, 3 turnovers is a tough number to overcome. So they really have to take care of the football, and they're going to have to cash in. And listen, they're 1 play away from taking the lead in this game, if you can imagine that. 1 play.
Sharif Jackson has come on the field as one of the deep men for Reigns. Starting defensive back out there with Ethan Sherman.
That's where they've kicked it each time so far.
Doesn't get to the goal line, so a chance for a return. Out past the 20 to the 21. So Sharif Jackson gets 1 more yard than he would have if he allowed that to go over his head and into the end zone.
Thought he did well to get to the 21. That was tough. Good catch to keep it away from going into the end zone.
Well, this Northwestern defense has now held Reigns scoreless for 6+ quarters, dating back to last year's title game. 41-0 win. But a much different feeling around the game tonight.
New formation for Reigns. They haven't shown this yet. 4 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right.
Tyshawn Haynes starts.
They needed to line up and get this play called because the Bulls weren't ready to go. Gave them too much time to get set up.
Cole will keep it. Able to stay on his feet and get out past the 25. Desmond Johnson was there defensively for Northwestern.
Didn't look like that was going to be a 5-yard gain, did it?
Did not have a good start.
No, but I mean,
most of Cole's success running the football has been on design passing plays rather than design running plays.
Well, I can see them trying it when they're spreading them out, all 5 receivers out. But they still have six near the box. Here they spread out a little bit better. They're giving a lot of time to adjust to that look.
Cole gets it out complete, but that is going the wrong direction for Reigns. Kelvin Brown with the catch. Amari Okendo, the transfer from Rockledge in Brevard County, with a tackle for loss.
Well, he's a superstar when it comes to playing aggressive at the line of scrimmage. They tried that once in the first half. It went really poorly, about as poorly as it did just now. And same guy, Okendo, was the one that did it. I'm thinking they need to be running down the field and making cuts and throwing the ball there. They're just too quick, too aggressive at the line of scrimmage.
Reigns 3 for 5 tonight so far on 3rd down. Vikings need 9 here.
Got to stay to the 3 receiver side on this one.
Cole with good protection, throwing to the near sideline, and it is incomplete. Zion Butler was wide open, but lost track of where he was and was out of bounds when he made the catch.
He was waiting for the ball for a really long time, and he was just going to have to drag his feet and start to fall out of bounds. You see, he was already jumping in the air. He was going to have to keep his feet close to the ground. He did not need to jump for that. He needed to keep his feet down and reach with his hands to try to keep his feet in bounds. Wasn't able to do it.
So Reigns goes 3 and out after the Northwestern field goal.
Zion Butler is the long snapper on this right now. I didn't realize that.
Eddie hitting the Reigns punter. High end over end kick, chance at a return for Dumont. Fumbled earlier in the game, trying to atone for it, and he's out of bounds at the 35. 18-yard return by Marcus Dumont. And Northwestern set up in great position.
And you know what? That was so similar to the one he fumbled on. And being the senior, he switched the ball to his right hand, which is exactly what he was supposed to do the first time. So he switched it to his right hand, kept that ball away. He didn't get hit as hard, but he had the ball on his right hand. Did the right thing there. But another easy or good, good field position right now. Smart to put a safety deep over the top of that trips.
Lawrence gets it out to Russell. It looks so smooth for Calvin Russell at 6'5", 200 pounds.
Yeah, their play. So you want to polar opposites was the way that Northwestern attacked the ball at the line of scrimmage on a bubble screen versus the way Rains did it. Rains is playing back, making sure they don't get deep over the top. Easy catch and run for Russell, whereas when Rains is throwing the ball at the line of scrimmage, Oquendo's just blowing it up big time.
When you're the epicenter of asking what if.
This Northwestern team, 5 consecutive games with 49 points or more. They've been averaging 57 in the playoffs, but Rains has been able to hold them out of the end zone so far. But we know from watching this Northwestern team in championship games, the points can come in a hurry if they start to get rolling.
Well, you know, you were warning of the clock in the first half, and they got the ball back with 40 seconds, and it did seem like they could just go down the field and make the score. They did, but 40 seconds seemed like a lot. So, yeah, when you just keep putting the ball at the 30, 35, or right now at the 26, or at the 24, I mean, they can come in bunches for sure.
Quarterback Neiman Lawrence had 7 touchdown passes against Miami Central in the region final. 406 yards, 7 TDs, and no picks. Looked like one of the Rains defenders there may have moved into the neutral zone. That was Mikel Smith-York.
Prior to the snap, encroachment on the defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Moves the ball inside the 20 for Northwestern, nearing the midway point of this third quarter. Bulls trying to make it a 2-score game. Lawrence with the fake to Mathis. Steps up and it's intercepted. Jadeem Jones with the pick for Rains, and he is headed all the way. Jones taken down inside the 5. He fumbled the ball into the end zone. Rains recovered it. Is it a touchdown or was he down? It's a touchdown. Jones fumbled, but Rains recovered. Mikel Smith-York in the end zone came away with the football, and it's the 12th defensive touchdown of the season for this Rains defense.
Jones reaches up and grabs it, and he's got a contingent of Vikings with him, and Smith-York is celebrating too early. He's not looking. There's somebody coming. He's out in front of him. He should be blocking right now. He doesn't block, and he gets tackled, and that's what causes all of that. Luckily, he gets on top of it for the touchdown, but he needed to be looking for the defender coming.
How about the effort by Mathis there? Nearly did make the tackle, forced a fumble, but Rains was down there and they were able to recover it.
Austin, did I say something about one play away?
You did.
Now they got to convert this extra point, and it's all kinds of confusion. They're just trying to kick an extra point. I guess they weren't prepared to have to get 11 guys on there for the extra point at that point in the ball game.
Dan Dong is the kicker, 73 of 79 this year on PATs. That one is good. And Rains, with a defensive touchdown, has taken the lead over Northwestern.
And Jones was pointing to his finger like championship ring on the way out of that touchdown, but he certainly gives his team a chance here. Could have ultimately been a disaster. And imagine the first touchdown of the game coming in that manner.
6 quarters without any points for Reigns in the last 2 championship games. Their first touchdown comes courtesy of an interception and then a fumble recovery following the INT. Jadeem Jones with the pick. Mikel Smith-York recovered it in the end zone, and Reigns is in front.
If there's any way to get this ball into the end zone, I would do it. You don't want to give the Bulls a chance to return this and get the momentum right back on a big return.
We'll have a shot at a return. Marquez Fleming.
Good coverage.
Out to the 26. Well, turnovers have been the story. Each team now with 3 turnovers in the game. The most recent one going all the way back for a touchdown.
Yeah, they haven't all been costly, but that one certainly was. Changed the demeanor of everybody on the sideline to the stands. I think your voice went up an octave on that as well. Lawrence hasn't had that happen to him many times this season. Been so good with the football.
Well, the effort by Mathis ends up going for naught, but that was a terrific play by him to get back.
Was the ball on the ground, Austin?
The official threw a beanbag.
It just looked like the way the players reacted, like the ball might have come out again.
Irwin James on the run for the Bulls. And Reigns with a player down. And Jaquatin Victram is incensed over there on the Northwestern sideline, slapping the helmets of his players.
Gotta be careful with that.
It is an intense group from Miami Northwestern. And right now their focus not where the head coach wants it.
I mean, it has felt like Northwestern's been on the edge of dominating the game many times, actually, at least the way I felt. It's just like, okay, it's just a matter of time before the dam breaks and they bust through and start, you know, pouring on the score. But that interception changed the game, and I think it changed for the defense and maybe for their offense when they get back on the board. I mean, back on the field.
Tony Williams is the injured player for Reigns. He is to his feet and walking to the sideline. That's great to see for senior defensive end who signed with Illinois. He's been a game wrecker on that defensive front. It's crazy to think about. We're midway through the 3rd quarter. It's a 7-6 game, which means there hadn't been a ton of scoring. Northwestern has yet to punt in the game.
Yeah, they've had great field position most of the time as well.
Every drive has resulted either in a field goal or a turnover.
You know, they were moving the ball in chunks, you know, 10 yards a pop at least so many times in the first half. They never really got in a position where they would have needed to punt, even if they couldn't convert.
Lawrence gives to James. He runs into a wall.
Conservative call, Austin. Very conservative, 2nd and 9 to run that dive.
So it'll be 3rd down and 8 for this Northwestern offense.
Somebody's got to come off. Yep. The interception machine just came off the field on 3rd and 8.
Reigns rushes 4. Lawrence eyeing the far sideline, and he's got a completion for a 1st down to Lanier.
Flournoy's got to be careful. He did a lot of holding in the slot. Could have easily been called. The ball went to the opposite side of the field. If the quarterback was looking to the right-hand side, that's out of bounds.
Lanier was not able to get a foot down.
And I think he would have been out regardless of getting pushed out.
Well, Northwestern gets a break. And we've got a stoppage in play. Raines called a timeout. Donovan Maslin and the rest of the Raines coaching staff saw the replay.
He wants to go to replay, but
on the big
do
board
that in high
here.
school football.
Replay not part of these state championship games. Coaches don't have any challenges. Officials not allowed to use the benefit of video replay.
All they can do is help each other. You know, they can go and they can confer with each other and change a call. This one was pretty easy to see. I mean, it really wasn't close. It's really not close. He's giving him the benefit of the doubt of he caught it without a push, but I don't actually think that's a rule anymore. I'm not. I won't talk like I know what like I'm saying, because I don't know what the rule is.
Well, I'll confirm for you. There is no force out rule.
Meaning, well, regardless, so push out or not, it should have been out of bounds.
So you
have an easy call, and he was looking at it from 4 or 5 steps away. But you know what? We all miss it.
It's certainly easy for us with the benefit of replay.
Egregious face mask call in the first half. That I'm just kidding, Austin. It's just a joke.
Lawrence trying to come back to Lanier through his hands and incomplete.
The Bulls looking just a little bit out of sorts after the field goal. Don't be clapping hands in anybody's face. You'll get a 15-yard penalty for that.
So Donis Pierre starting left tackle with Troy Butler. Those two chirping a bit.
You don't want to give anybody an excuse for anything.
Fake to James, throw it out to the near side. Russell, great speed from Russell, accelerating down the sideline and caught from behind inside the 25, but it's the longest play of the night for the Northwestern offense.
Yeah, I was talking about that bunch set that I thought that they would take even more advantage. They've been able to throw, basically they've just thrown bubble screen off of it, and this one goes the best. They had it to the left sideline. It got 10, give or take. This one goes much farther. Good block on the outside. Setting them up. You're just talking about how fast they can get down the field.
That was Dumont with the block that helped spring Russell. Headed to play for Fran Brown at Syracuse. Let's check in down on the field with Emily. All right, Emily, we'll keep an eye on that as we get through the final 16 minutes here. A 37-yard catch and run by Calvin Russell Jr. And Northwestern right outside the red zone looking to retake the lead. Lawrence had the back open initially. Flag is thrown behind the play as Mathis was unable to make the catch.
This is the referee in the backfield. That's usually holding. Not many other penalties come from him. Yep, good call. Went on the side of the screen there.
The offense. Replay second down.
Moves the the ball back to the 34.
Correction. Replay first down.
Ten penalties combined between the teams, 5 on each side. Mathis goes out of the backfield. They swing it to him, and he's unable to make the catch. Jadeem Jones, who had the pick for Raines, right there, nearing Mathis as the ball arrived.
You know, I think as Lawrence matures, they'll allow him to read this. This is just a straight run play. I mean, it's true. Well, it actually is a run play. They throw it outside, and that's all. They got the all the receivers are blocking first, and throw it out there, get him in some space, goes through his hands. But I think they're going to like to read that, let him make a choice on that. You don't have to just choose if it's not good. In that case, they're already blocking. But have your receivers run routes and let the quarterback make that choice.
Second down and 20. Lawrence with good protection as he zips it down the middle. Joseph makes the catch, loses his feet. Ball back to the 19, where it'll be 3rd down and 4.
My eyes got locked on Russell once again. He was the guy in motion. He ran an out and then spun back in. And then when Lawrence threw it, I said, oh, that's not going to be a good pass. I didn't even see him sneaking in there, Joseph behind him sneaking in there. So it turns out it was a great pass, 3rd and short.
4th catch for Joseph. Good distribution among the receivers for Northwestern. And now 3rd down and 4. Lawrence pumps. Receiver was not looking for the ball. It was thrown in the direction of Marcus Dumont. And it's 4th down. And Northwestern will bring on Alex Lima to try to retake the lead.
Wow. Can you imagine? Raines is getting it done on defense, not letting this team get into the end zone. I think the Raines crowd really wanted an offensive pass interference as Dumont went to turn and block the defender so he wouldn't intercept it.
35-yard attempt for Alex Lima. He certainly has the leg to be able to make this. High snap. Lanier gets it down, and Lima's kick is good. Right down the middle. 3 for 3 tonight. And Northwestern regains the lead, 9-7.
Wow, that was a clean guy that got through on the block. Didn't block it, obviously, but man, it looked like he came straight through where it could have gone backwards if he got his hand on it for another big play.
Still no offensive touchdowns in the game. Only score that got into the end zone provided by the Raines defense. And Jaquatin Victrum's squad now nudges back in front.
You just never know when you get to this championship game. These teams have played against some, call them average teams through the season, and they just dominate. They put up massive, video game numbers and things like that. And then each week in the playoffs, they usually get hard. But still, a lot of the games in the playoffs are just wildly different on the scoreboard. You get to this championship game, and you could not make a living betting on, what would happen out here. Which you shouldn't, Austin. It's high school football, okay?
Absolutely.
I saw that look in your eye, and I said, oh, wait a minute. I probably shouldn't be talking about that either.
Well, it was a look of astonishment that anyone would do that.
What I was trying to get at was they're unpredictable.
Indeed they are. Sherman back it up. They'll take it from the 4. Coming to the near side. Sherman able to get around the edge, but nothing really there. Russell ushers him out of bounds just shy of the 20.
That hesitation move a couple of times and work for him. Get it out to the 20-yard line, 19-yard line it is. They just had to work to get this ball down the field from starting inside their own 20 many times tonight. No more unforced errors, Austin.
This will be just the 6th play of the quarter for Rains. They keep it on the ground, and gain of maybe 1 for Tyshawn Haynes.
Remember, Haynes came in at the tail end of the second quarter and just started getting big plays up the middle. That's what they're hoping for, him to pop something through right now.
Zion Butler's been quiet. 2 catches, 16 yards. 1,000-yard receiver for Rains. Has not been able to connect with Cole. Haynes flexes out. Cole steps up from pressure. Can't get away. Wrapped up by DeMarcus King.
Well, you mentioned Zion Butler right before that play. If he had any time at all, if Cole had any time at all, he would have found Zion Butler in the middle of the field wide open. But just too much quick pressure there by King.
Cain committed to Tennessee State, transfer from West Boca, where he won a state title a season ago. Looking to win his 2nd in as many seasons with a different program. Third down and 11. Again, there's pressure. Cole will try to run for it. He slid to the 25, and a good job by Calvin Russell to go over the top of Cole and not commit a personal foul penalty after the slide.
You know, I would have hoped that with the late slide, and this is a competitive football game, even if he hit him, that they wouldn't have thrown a flag, because I feel for the defenders in that situation. This guy's, you know, pushing forward and then slides really late, and the defender is committing to trying to tackle the guy. Glad it didn't work, you know, go either way, and that there was no flag.
4th down and 5, final minute of the 3rd quarter. Pressure on the punt. Hinton does get it away. It's not deep, it's very high. Dumont comes up and makes a fair catch right at midfield. Sure-handed Dumont there. Fumbled earlier on a punt return. Showed off his skill. That was not an easy catch to make in a lot of traffic.
You took the words out of my mouth. A lot of traffic as he came up. Had a lot of guys around him. I think that the toughest job in football is punt returner. No matter what level it is, the ball knuckles at you. It floats in the air weird, and these guys just make it look so easy. But toughest job in football.
From the 49. Russell on the quick completion. Those long strides. He's got it inside the 40. There are 2 flags down. Both of them thrown in the Rains secondary, well behind the play.
I would just keep running that play. They're not defending it aggressively enough that you might as well just keep throwing it to Russell and just let him run for first downs.
Rains had too many guys on the field there.
They had 12 on earlier. It ran a guy off late, so they may have had that situation again.
There's 12 out there right now.
Again, the referees don't have the review. You know how on the NFL games or college they put those numbers and they go all the way across and there's 12 guys. The referees don't have that advantage here.
Substitution infraction on the defense, 5-yard penalty. First down.
5 yards after the play, we have to decline the penalty and get no extra 5 yards.
Yeah, so it was a gain of 11. They have not marked off any additional penalty yardage, so not that I'm a math expert. 11 better than 5.
Me neither, but if they keep defending it like this, I just keep throwing it to Russell over and over and over. There's no reason to even go in motion and do all that extra stuff.
Here's Lanier on the slip screen, able to break through. Lanier out of bounds inside the 25.
Yeah, they can do that. They can keep it simple. They got the numbers. They got the numbers to the trips receiver side.
Lawrence up to 242 yards passing, but it's been mostly Lanier and Russell doing the work after the catch. Lanier with 5 catches, 73 yards. Russell 6 for 72. Toss to Mathis. Good job to catch it, but flags down before the snap.
See, they're trying to take advantage of the same thing that I'm talking about.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
But they're making it a little bit harder than they need to. By putting the guy in motion, they get the illegal procedure penalty. They could just throw bubble behind, throw it to the outside receiver as he just bubbles back on a little swing route, and the other 2 guys block. There's just not enough range defenders out there to defend it, so they could keep doing it. And they don't need to add, they don't need to bring the receiver across. They don't need to run the running back out there in motion.
First and 15, clock is running. Northwestern does not have to snap it, and they will allow time to expire. Well, that takes us to the end of the 3rd quarter. 12 minutes to go in the 3A championship game. A couple of leads going in. Could be a very different score line if Northwestern had had more success inside the 10.
That is for darn sure, but they've been able to weather it as we talked, and they got one more shot. Actually, probably 2. They're going to go for it on 4th down if for some reason they don't get it in now.
They bring in Calvin Russell at quarterback. The direct snap to Russell. He's looking for the edge, cuts it back, and takes it in. First offensive touchdown of the night by one of the top wide receivers in the country. And Northwestern extends the lead.
They float everybody to the right. The first time they tried this, it did not go well at all. Raines defended it, I think, for a loss of yardage. This time he goes against the flow and uses all of his athletic ability to get the ball in the end zone.
Very important PAT here from Alex Lima, trying to make it a 2-score game. Just got it inside the left upright. So Lima converts. Russell finds the end zone for the first offensive TD of the night.
Raines' offense is going to have to make it happen. The defense has been doing all they can, including putting points on the board for them. It is going to be Timothy Cole, the senior quarterback, and the rest of his receivers, including that offensive line, is going to have to do a heck of a job for the next 10 minutes and 23 seconds because they got to get the ball twice and get a touchdown and a minimum of a touchdown and a field goal while holding the Bulls offense without getting any more.
Northwestern up to 320 yards of offense tonight. Raines with just 128. Jaquaton Victrum's defense has come to play in this title game. We've up 21 points last week to Bishop Moore, 29 against Miami Central. They had been very good and allowed very few points up until 50 the last couple of weeks, but you get to this point in the season, offenses that can really score. And Raines among those. Just under 47 points per game for the Vikings coming into tonight. Referee asks for the play clock to be reset. got nothing out of the return game. Ethan Sherman and Kelvin Brown, when they've had chances, not been able to produce anything. And Lima's been able to put the ball into the end zone. Sherman this time from just outside the goal line. Out past the 20 and thrown down out of bounds. That'll cost Northwestern 15. It was DeMarcus King, the outstanding defensive end, and there's another flag down in the middle of the field.
Yeah, that was a player interaction. Don't know what the call is at all. I just saw the yellow flag coming out of what he was throwing the flag at. Looks like it might be offsetting. One against each.
So the officials deliberate. It's up to this Reigns offense now to try to get going as a quarterback. When you haven't had a good night and you're down by 9 points, does your mentality change at all, knowing that you have to get going?
On the kicking team, after the play, dead ball, personal foul. On the receiving team, penalty flag is offset, touchdown, Reigns.
You know, when you're down, you're not having the greatest game. I mean, Cole's done fine. It's just you got just so much pressure coming, right? Couple of interceptions that are just look more like miscommunication with the receiver of thinking what he was going to do when he wasn't set in the pocket. But yeah, it's just you're just not clear on everything, and so you don't want to push it though. That's why he wants to hold it an extra second.
Darius Washington run. He's spun down after a pickup of 2. I would think in some ways you get a little bit more freedom knowing that you really have to cut it loose.
Well, you know that you can't make any mistakes either. So, I mean, it depends on your mentality about it. You're trying to play mistake free. But you get to the point, maybe not at 9:51, but more at 3 minutes where you just cut it loose. Now you know you can't turn the ball over.
Cole with a nice pocket, able to step into the throw, and down the middle he's got his man, Kyron Jackson, out to the 46, 22 yards on that connection.
That 10 to 15 yard space over the ball is where the opening is for Cole to find his receivers. We talked about Zion Butler earlier being in that space as well.
Late decision there by Cole. He held it for a long time before Darius Washington sprinted through the hole. And quickly the Vikings are in Northwestern territory.
Yeah, one of the turnovers happened because of that situation, so you got to be careful there as well.
Cole fits it into Kelvin Brown. Another Vikings first down. And the best rhythm we've seen from Reigns so far in the second half.
Yeah, I think their sped up offense has been the best for them. Again, when that happens, the defense plays much more generic, much more often just plays safe zone.
Washington able to weave his way down to about the 36-yard line. Tough for Northwestern to substitute. They're running a couple of guys on and off. Moving guys around the field, right back to Washington, running through that space that was vacated by Jordan Campbell as he flipped sides of the field.
Well, this is what it looked like until the interception in the first half. They were moving this ball. It looked great.
Cole keeps and not able to get away from DeMarcus King.
Washington with a whole bunch of good runs. Washington now Haynes back in the game, number 12.
Cole try to escape the pocket, able to elude defenders, finally lets it go, and it lands out of bounds.
I cannot believe that Cole survived the pocket there. That was some mastery back there.
There were 2 or 3 times when it looked like he was about to get sacked.
It was right here that I just think he did not think he was coming out of there.
Devon Gibson with the late pressure. Sophomore linebacker has an interception in the game for Northwestern, and now it's 3rd and 9.
3 receivers at the bottom of the screen.
Northwestern rushes 4. They run it with Haynes. He got tripped up.
Yeah, tough mark as well.
He got further than the 19, but that's where they put it down. And Raines is going to try a field goal to make it a 1-score game.
You know, it's the right thing to do if your kicker could make a 36-yard field goal.
This would match the longest of the year for Dan Dong. He's 3 of 4 kicking, long of 36. And this one is good. Good kick by Dan Dong. He matches his longest field goal of the year and cuts it back to a 1-score game, 16-10.
You know, I thought Raines was going to block one of Northwestern's, and I just thought that Northwestern was going to get their hands on that ball right now. So great job for Dong to get that through.
Zion Butler snapped it. Eddie Hinton put it down, and Dong kicked it through. How about the kickers tonight? 4 for 4. We saw a 5 field goal game from St. Thomas Aquinas last night. Great kicking here in the state finals.
Pressure right back on to the Raines defense. They've been doing a great job all night long, slowing down the Bulls offense.
.14 remaining in the game as Dong boots it away for Raines. Very close to the sideline, catching it and going out of bounds right away.
Yeah, mistake there, taking the ball at the 12-yard line. Just gonna let that go out of bounds.
Northwestern with its worst starting field position of the night.
Well, I have said it many times. I thought that they've unlocked the key or the puzzle by the bunch look and just throwing the bubble screen out, and they're able to, you know, pick up big yardage. We'll see how they choose to attack it here in the 4th quarter, needing to run this clock down and not give Raines another chance.
Northwestern with the first offensive touchdown of the game on their last drive. Calvin Russell run. Didn't look like Lawrence was ready for the snap.
No, it did not.
Mathis forced out wide, and Raines rallies to bring him down behind the line of scrimmage. Mere Days not on the same page with Neiman Lawrence.
Yeah, you see that multiple heads were turned the wrong way when the ball got snapped, and I still thought Mathis was actually going to make a positive play out of it, but the defense stepped up and got him in the backfield.
Second and 13 as Irwin James sprints in from the Northwestern sideline. He motions out. They throw the inside screen. What a catch by Russell. Reached up and snatched it with one hand and runs all the way to midfield.
Battle for the ball on the tackle. I don't think they're going to call it a fumble. Even if Raines comes up with this ball, I don't think they're going to call it a fumble. What a catch. Wow. Almost like an alley-oop. Lawrence alley-oops it up, snatches it and slams it down into his rib cage and takes it down the field.
Well, there's a snapshot of why Russell is one of the best 10 wide receivers in this year's recruiting class, signed to Syracuse. And fans of the Orange will love seeing that play.
Quarterbacks love 6'5", I can tell you. Especially guys that can go up and snag it one-handed too.
During the play,
I mentioned this earlier, he's a great basketball player.
On Miami, 15-yard penalty. Penalty enforced as a dead ball. First down.
So sideline interference means that one of the members of the Northwestern sideline made contact with an official.
Timeout on the field.
Restricted his ability to follow the ball, follow the play. That moves the ball back to the 34. And they've just announced the attendance here, 13,266. A great crowd, and they've been treated to a highly entertaining 3A championship game.
Austin, what was the crowd last year?
12,000, I believe, is what they announced.
All right. Fantastic. And they're being treated to a fantastic football game, better than 41-0.
That's what it was a year ago when Northwestern thoroughly dominated Rains from start to finish. Outcome never in doubt. And tonight we have gone back and forth. Rains with a field goal on their last drive to make it a one-possession game. .38-yard catch and run by Russell, but they take 15 back and mark it at 34. Lawrence pulls it out to Kenyon Tompkins.
And it was the play I was mentioning, and it keeps going for good yardage. Doesn't matter what down they run it on. Sooner or later, you let your receiver that starts with a block release, and it'll be wide open for you.
Lawrence passing tonight, 22 of 34, 288 yards. No touchdowns and the one interception. On second and short, they run it, and Rains breaks through.
Brown was deep in the backfield in a heartbeat. Cameron Washington was actually the guy that got there first.
The whole left side of that offensive line totally parted between Brown and Washington. Irwin James had no chance. So from 2nd and 2 to 3rd down and 6. Northwestern 2 of 6 on 3rd down tonight. Lawrence out of the backfield, wide open is Ryan Mathis, but he stepped out of bounds short of the 1st down.
Oh boy. How did that happen?
You see how Coach Victram feels about that spot.
Hard to say no to that, but we did see the other play that looked like he was way out of bounds.
And Northwestern is going to punt. I am shocked by that move. So on comes Alex Lima.
He's going to take a timeout and think about it. I think he's going to get egged on by his assistant coaches and his players to go for it.
On the field, Miami Northwestern. First time out of the half.
That'll leave Northwestern with 1 timeout and 5:22 to go in the game. 4th down and a long yard for the Bulls. Rains has been great against the run. You got an athlete like Calvin Russell. He scored in short yardage in a goal-to-go situation last possession.
Oh, you know, you bring up a good point right there. 4th and 1 here. Bring him in as your running back and come up with one of the 2 plays that you have that he's back there. But this is a big call. I mean, this is it, and this is where you say, well, you know what? When Rains has gotten the ball and they get on a little bit of a roll and they're able to get on the ball quickly and we get gassed, they've been able to get the ball down the field fast. You know what I mean? So if we punt and they could get right back up here quickly with 5:22, that's more than enough time. And so they come back out here and run an offensive play. Say, we are the Northwestern Bulls and we are the defending state champions. We're going to go for it on 4th and 1.
Mathis is the running back. 4th down and a long yard. They snap it. Lawrence going to throw for it. Intercepted. Picked off by Jatarius Brown, and he returns it to the 30-yard line.
The head coach says we should have punted. Well, you know, if it was just an interception and he fell down at the line of scrimmage, it's like, well, okay, we didn't get the first down. But this guy carries the ball back another 15 yards, and they have it at the 30-yard line.
The man they call Agent Zero with his first interception of the season. And the Vikings have it at the Northwestern 30. Fourth takeaway of the night for this Rains defense.
A lot of work to get 30 yards against this defense, though. Still a lot of work to be done.
They start with a Tadarius Washington run. He is met and pulled backward by DeMarcus King.
5 minutes is still a lot of time on the clock. Even if they put this ball in the end zone, there's still going to be a lot of time left on the clock. Northwestern with at least one timeout still on the board now.
Rains without an offensive touchdown in the game. Interception that was returned back to the 2-yard line, fumbled into the end zone and recovered for a score. Cole, design run. Ran into Roderick McFadden. A brick wall stands him up. And Cole is pushed back.
That's a good description right there. McFadden, huge man over the ball. Stops that run by himself.
This is as hyped as we've seen Northwestern at any point tonight. Vikings looking to punch it in and take the lead. Play clock at 6 as Cole gets everybody set up. They'll toss to Washington. Running wide. Got nothing. James Briggs made the play for Northwestern.
Zion Green, the wide receiver, tried to do the very best he could against the defender that came in and made that tackle. We're going to have to do it through the air, I think. They've had a lot of good gashing runs. Tadarius Washington's had a good night. Same with Haynes when he's come in. But I think they're going to have to throw for this score.
Cole fakes, takes it up the middle, and he's in for a Rains touchdown. And the Vikings are an extra point away from taking the lead.
Or the senior quarterback that got beat 41-0 last year, that has come and they've saved his running this year, not as much so that he could be fresher for this game. takes it in for the lead. Potential lead. Got to kick that extra point.
Dan Dong's made a 36-yard field goal, and the other PAT. That one is up and through. Reigns in front by a point with 2.5 to go.
That field goal and extra point, those are an adventure. They do not want this to come down to one more kick for Reigns.
It started with Jatarius Brown intercepting Neiman Lawrence on 4th down. The 3rd down conversion to Zion Green, and then Cole finishes it off.
I don't think I've ever seen a catch made like that, but what a critical catch it was. And hey, great play call by the coaches, and for Cole to put the ball in the belly and pull it back out and finish the run for the touchdown.
Cole's thrown 2 interceptions tonight, but he was clutch when his team needed it most. The accurate throw to Green and the touchdown run from 9 yards out. And now the pressure back on Northwestern. Reigns with 10 unanswered. It's a 1-point game with 2:35 on the clock. Lanier drifting back to take the kickoff from the 10. Trying to go to the far side of the field, and he slips down at the 12. Well, Northwestern with a long way to go, but they can take the lead with a field goal. And Alex Lima's already kicked 3 of them tonight.
Well, you had said that was the worst field position, I think, the last series that they started, and they're right about exactly the same yard line for this series as well.
Well, we saw senior quarterback Timothy Cole deliver when his team needed it. What about sophomore Neiman Lawrence? Biggest moment of his young career. Thrown 2 interceptions tonight. A fake down the middle, wide open. Russell takes it near the 40-yard line, and the drive starts with a 26-yard catch and run.
Great answer by the sophomore quarterback. Down the middle as well. Could be a lot of traffic in there. Give the superstar senior receiver a chance.
Russell 8 grabs, 136 yards and a rushing touchdown. Clock ticks under 2 minutes as Lawrence steps up. Launches downfield, wide open, Lanier, and Northwestern regains the lead.
The touchdown comes because Lawrence is able to buy that little bit of extra time, and I was telling you the block and then release, it was going to be something open late. It didn't come off the exact thing that I was thinking of, but it opens up late, over the top, wide open, but still a lot of time left on the clock.
It's a 5-point game. Northwestern, I would think, has to go for 2 here, but they've got their kicker out there to try to make it a 6-point game. Northwestern shifts. Lima's PAT with contact made.